Hey everybody, Playtendoguy here, and I'm back with another video. It's Monday, so you know what that means. It's actually time for a Blu-ray hunting video. Yes, I went to Boston yesterday and went to the HMV and managed to get some footage in there. So what I'll do is I'll show you the footage and all the stuff in HMV Boston, and then when I'm back, I'll show you all the pickups and deliveries I've had from the past week, and also my pickups from HMV. And overall, there's quite a few. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, we're back from Boston, and honestly, the Boston HMV is a really nice store. It may look quite small, but surprisingly, they have a lot of stuff in there. I actually found a couple of titles that I was looking for in other HMVs that they never had, but they had there. It's a good store with a great selection, great members of staff, and a lot of stuff. It's a good mix of everything. You've got your like Japanese food, your toys, your music, your all sorts of memorabilia, as well as loads of films. It's a great selection. Great store, definitely well worth going there if you're around the Lincolnshire area. But anyway, let's get into the pickups and deliveries for the past week. First up, I'll talk about two games I picked up. I still have a game waiting to come from a certain company and it still hasn't arrived. I've ordered it 2 weeks ago, but they're just like, keep waiting, it'll arrive, it'll arrive. And it's kind of getting on my nerves because I ordered these two games from the same place and they arrived the very next day. And I've told them and they're like, well, it could still come. But I'm like, it's 2 weeks now. It really should be here. But anyway, I digress. Hopefully, I'll find out what happens with that game this week. First up is Disco Elysium. It released this week on Switch. Finally, it's been on other consoles since about Christmas last year, and it's been on PC for about a couple of years. But I decided to pick up the Switch version. Great game, very enjoyable. It is basically a interactive novel. You play as a detective who's got amnesia, doesn't remember anything. He doesn't even remember he's a detective. And there's a murder in this town and you've got to solve it, as well as also deal with various other investigations. It's a great game, very slow paced, so if you don't like a lot of reading, it's probably not a game for you, but it tackles some pretty touchy subjects and it's a really enjoyable and thought-provoking game. And the game I also bundled it up with is a game I've been wanting to get for quite a while. It's a Sega game. I played these games years ago and this is like a celebration of the first two or three games, and that's Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Yeah, great game, really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. Rolling these little monkeys in a ball through these little stages is a lot of fun. There's a load of mini games in this and it's really fun. There's a lot of content in this game, surprisingly. I only paid about 15 quid for this, so I'm very happy to have it in the collection. Right, I ordered a load of stuff from Music Magpie because they had a load of cheap films for like a couple of quid each. So I decided to pick a big job lot of 5 of them up. So yeah, let's dive straight into it. First up is Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon in The Spy Who Dumped Me. I don't really know why I picked this up. This was like only about £2.30, so I thought, you know what, pick it up. I watched the trailer and it looks like a lot of fun. It's basically just comedy. I think one of these actresses, their boyfriend dumps them and they find out he's a spy, so they go after him. It looks like a lot of daft fun. There's a lot of action in it, so that's pretty cool. It's got Mila Kunis in, so it can't all be bad. So yeah, that's The Spy Who Dumped Me. Next one is The Thing. This is like the 2011 prequel. I've heard pretty bad things about this one. This one stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead from Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, as well as Birds of Prey, and also Scott Pilgrim vs. World. And this is supposed to be a prequel to the John Carpenter's classic. I've heard that it isn't very good, but for like £2 something, I don't really mind. Apparently they did film this all with practical effects and then Universal decided to CGI all over it. I have seen footage of the CGI and honestly it looks quite dated today. But for about 2 quid, I thought I'd give it a go and see what it's like. I think I might have actually seen this one before on Film 4 many years ago, but for the price, I'm happy to have it in the collection. Next one is starring Marky Wahlberg, and that is Patriots Day. I have not seen this, but I do know that it's based on a true story of like a terrorist attack, and I've heard it's not a bad little film. So yeah, it says here it's based on true events, and it's directed by the director of Lone Survivor, which also stars Mark Wahlberg, and it's supposed to be quite a good film. But yeah, I think this is a fairly recent film. I think it's like a 2017, 2016 film, for 2 quid. Basically, they're trying to stop or find out who done this terrorist attack. Looks like it's going to be a good watch. So yeah, that is Patriots Day. This film is actually, I think it is actually filmed or based around Norwich. Evander from Sly Reviews will know, as he is also a wrestling fan, and that is Fighting With My Family. I'm not the world's biggest wrestling fan, but I don't mind watching the odd match here and there. But this is based on the true story of the wrestler Paige, who actually come from Norwich, and this is like what happens with her and her family and how she hit it big time. I mainly got it because it's got such a stellar cast. You've got Florence Pugh, who is on the up and up these days. You've also got the ever brilliant Nick Frost, Vince Vaughn, and also Dwayne Johnson. This is actually directed by Stephen Merchant of like the Ricky Gervais fame, so that's great. I've heard that it's a very good film, one of the best British films for quite a while. So for like £2, I'm very happy with that. I'm surprised the price of that has really dropped, considering how good it is. Another British film that's also very good. I did actually have this one, and that's Paddington 2. I had this once before, but I sold it for a good price, so I thought I'd pick it up again for £1.99. So very happy to have it back in the collection. One of the best films of all time, with a great cast: Pete Capaldi, Hugh Bonneville, Sally Hawkins, Jim Broadbent. Hugh Grant is absolutely fantastic in this, literally. It's just such a great film, and apparently we are getting Paddington 3, so bring it on. I did actually go to a Poundland in Boston. Yes, a Poundland. And do you want to know something? They actually had a lot of Blu-rays in. Literally, it was like how it used to be with Poundland, like shelf upon shelf. There was like 3 or 4 shelves full of Blu-rays. Admittedly, it was a lot of the same titles repeated over and over again, but I did pick up 4 titles that I haven't seen in other Poundlands. So first up, we have a film called Messenger with Woody Harrelson and Ben Foster. Don't really know much about this. From what I gather, it's going to be like a war film, a war drama film, so should be pretty good. I mean, I checked online and the reviews seem quite positive, and it's also got Woody Harrelson in it, so it should be a good time. And there seems to be a lot of 5 stars plastered all over the front cover. Don't really know too much about it, but for £2, I'm not going to moan. It's great to see new titles in Poundland for a change. Next one is a film that I know there's been doing the rounds in Poundland. Well, it was last year, but nowhere near me actually had it, but this one did, so I picked it up immediately, and that's The Boy Next Door. Starring Jennifer Lawrence. This is supposed to be like a thriller thing about a woman who, like, a youngish bloke moves next door, and I think they have a night of passion, and then things go awry when he kind of stalks her, I think. I don't really know too much about it, but that's the gist that I'm getting from the back of the film. But yeah, should be a good time. Again, for £2, it's alright. It's worth a go. But yeah, I was surprised to see that it's an 18. I never really heard of this film when it came out in the cinema. I think it's like a 2017 or 2016 film. But yeah, that's The Boy Next Door. One film that I know is very good, and it's got a great cast. It's got Steve Carell, Toni Collette, and it's also got the Riddler himself, Paul Dano, in it. And that's Little Miss Sunshine. This is like a family comedy, coming of age sort of film. I can remember watching this years ago, like must have been when it first came out, and really quite enjoying it. I think the film itself is now on Disney Plus, but to find it in Poundland for £2, brand new and sealed, I'm very happy to have that in the collection. So yeah, that's Little Miss Sunshine, and you also do get quite a few special features. And the final pickup from Poundland is this one. It's from the director of Dog Soldiers, so I thought I'll give it a go, because Dog Soldiers is brilliant. And that's something called Doomsday. Never heard of it before. I had to Google it in Poundland to see what it's about, but I checked the casting list and it has Bob Hoskins in it, so I automatically sold it for me. Because it's like a late 2000s film. It looks like it's going to be something about zombies or something. I'm not really sure. But this was the only copy they had in that also comes with a booklet, because this is quite a hefty package. That's what she said. But yeah, don't really know much about it. Looks like it's going to be a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. So yeah, for £2, I'm complaining. Right, for HMV pickups, I went into HMV Boston and found a title that I've been after for absolute ages that nowhere seemed to have, and is still on offer. It's currently on TV in its new remake form, but I really want to watch the original, and that's Michael Kane in the Ipcress File. Yes, spy espionage film with the legendary Sir Michael Caine. What more to like? I've heard it's very much like the original James Bond films. Somebody says like a working man's James Bond. very down to earth, so I'm looking forward to watching it. I've heard some great positive things about it. This is a new film by Network, so that's great. So yeah, it's actually produced by Harry Saltzman, who also did have something to do with the Bond franchise. So yeah, it's in one of these very, very slim cases from Network. It's only £7.99, normally about 14 quid, so it's not too bad. Um, but yeah, it's all about a file containing mysteries and secrets, so it should be pretty cool. Picking this one up if you're currently watching the ITV show or just like Michael Caine films in general. I haven't actually seen the TV show, but I always want to watch this original, so yeah. That's the Ipcrest file. Right, HMV's got a fantastic offer on newly released Blu-rays, doing a 2 for £20 offer, which is honestly too good to refuse. They've got hordes of titles there. They've got Halloween Kills, Resident Evil, Spencer, Akanto, I think so. But two recent titles that I've both seen on streaming that I really want to get in the collection, so I picked them up. First up is the fairly recent The Kingsman. Really did enjoy this film. It was a lot of fun. It definitely feels like a film with two halves. It starts off like a typical Kingsman film. Then about partway through it goes a bit like 1917 with a quite a long war section. That's quite depressing, to be fair. And then the final third is just like over the top Kingsman action. It is a lot of fun. I think all the cast are great here. I think Ralph Fiennes does a great stuff. Rhys Ifans, who plays Rasputin's, a lot of fun. There's some great action scenes, and I think Gemma Arterton was fantastic in it. A lot of fun. Quite a few special features. That is The Kingsman. Film that has split fans straight down the middle. And I watched it recently on streaming, and you know what? I didn't actually mind it. Yes, it's overlong, and really it could have worked out more better as a TV show, but that is Marvel's Eternals. Yeah, huge all-star cast of all these Eternals, and it is right. It's essentially just like the Blues Brothers, where they're just getting the band back together to fight this new threat. Great cast here. You got Angelina Jolie, Gemma Chan, Salma Hayek. You also got from the dudes from Game of Thrones, but the names completely forget me. But overall, I really did enjoy it. I think the visuals look really nice. I can understand some people being put off by it because it's not your typical Marvel film. It does take quite a while to get going, but there's a certain charm to this film, and I did enjoy it. I mean, I do think 156 minutes is way too long, and the film would have worked out better as a TV show, expanding each Guardian or Eternal in their own episode, and then meet up for a final film at the end. But I enjoyed it. It's not too bad. It's not Marvel's worst, but it certainly isn't Marvel's best. So that's Eternals and The Kingsman for 20 quid. Very good price. Next up, I picked up an Arrow release because they do have some Arrow offers. They had a load of them normally for like about 10 quid, which I think isn't too bad. But they also had two box sets. They had the Battles Without Honor and Humanity set for like 30 quid, and I'm really tempted to get it, but the problem is the box is just so flimsy and not your typical sturdy Arrow box that you find. But they did have this, the Dead or Alive trilogy. By Takeshi Miike. I don't really know much about these, but I've heard that they're over-the-top action violent films, and they're supposed to be a bit of a wild ride. So for 3 films for $14.99, I thought I'd give it a go. It looks like a lot of fun, so yeah, that's the Dead or Alive trilogy. Not too bad, and some lovely artwork there. It's normally 25 quid, so for 15 quid, I didn't thought it was too bad. And the final pickup from HMV is easily the most I paid for one film, and that is a Netflix film that is on Criterion. I've been wanting to watch this for years. It cost me $21.99, and I'm glad I got it, and that is The Irishman. So yeah, my second Criterion. I watched this over the weekend. I actually watched it on Saturday night. About 3.5 hours long, but my word, what an absolute incredible film. Everybody here gives such stellar performances, especially Robert De Niro. He probably one of his best films, I think. He's just so superb here. The set design is incredible. The music is perfection. And every scene is just superbly shot. I really did enjoy it. And honestly, I did watch this all the way through, and this is the first Criterion, even though I did pick up Deep Cover a couple of months ago. This is the first time I've actually watched the Criterion, and the picture quality and the sound quality is like second to none. And if all Criterions are like that, then I can understand why the price is so high. But very happy to have this in the collection. It did definitely cost a bit, but it was very nice. Obviously everybody's done an unboxing for it, but you do get a nice booklet here saying like that. But yeah, that is The Irishman. So yeah, that is The Irishman. Very happy to have that in the collection. Lovely edition with a slew of special features. So yeah. Anyway, that's all my pickups and deliveries for the past week. I've got a few items coming in the post, so there's at least some stuff coming for next week. Also, I'd like to say that on Wednesday night live streams return for another fun full evening at 7:30. We are joined by me, Andy and Mike, and we've also got two special guests this week. We've got AP Stevens, the Movie Cheer podcast, as well as Jordan from Movie Worm. So join us on Wednesday night at 7:30 for another fun-filled evening. See you all there. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could like and subscribe, that would be totally awesome. And as always, till next time, bye.